Hello, everyone. This is ELD from the Time Fix and End Planners, and this is our monthly masterclass that we bring to you every single month so that you can become a better planner and so that you can make friends with your planner and you can actually become more productive. This month is a really interesting month because right now we are in school holidays based on the Easter holidays. So I thought that it would worth thinking about school holidays and productivity. I had a few people ask me over the past couple of weeks, school holidays are coming. What can I do? How will I survive the school holidays without falling apart again and without letting my business slide away? So I thought this would be a really cool topic to talk about for April, and hopefully you will walk away with some interesting things. And I know some of you straight think right now, I don't have children. Why would that affect me? But the reality is that it does affect you. And in my experience, it's quite important to have some clarity around school holidays because even if you don't have children, it does have an imprint on our business and it does affect the way that we do business when it is school holiday time for everyone else. So that's what I'm talking about. There's two big types of people that I talk usually when it comes to school holidays. One, yep, bring it on, 100%. I have children, I have no clue, I always fall apart, I struggle to get things done, and time just seems to slip away when we are in school holidays. Or B, you're in that other situation where you don't have children and you might think it does not affect me in any shape or form, yet I do believe that it does affect all of us. And you know what, I have teenage kids, so school holidays is beginning to change even for me. I'm closer to that second group because my kids are quite independent and they do whatever they need to do. And except for the occasional pick up, drop off, and the things that are around that, well, yeah, they are independent. So school holidays does look different for me already. And this is why I say that it still affects you. It still has an imprint on business and it's still worth thinking about it. So before you run away and think, oh, this is just a waste of time, please stay with me for this next roughly 25 minutes. And let's talk a bit about this and three things that you can do when it comes to school holidays so that you can be productive and so that you can stay on top of things and not let your business slide away. So I was thinking that there's three big things that you need to consider when it comes to school holidays. One is knowing your market and knowing your rhythm. The second is having a plan. And of course, the third one is bringing on your best negotiation skills to the table. Now, this third one might mainly affect the ones who have children, but in the end, it affects all of us. And it's a good skill to have. And let's talk a little bit about that because I find that it's quite a fascinating topic anyway. So let's talk a little bit about know your market and know your rhythm. Now, this is where I talk about that it affects all of us. Why? Because even if you don't have children and even if you're not affected by school holidays directly, you still have customers, you still have clients who do have children. So the things that I find when it comes to school holidays is that it can do two big things. It can actually stop and stump your business on its track, and you have to take a deep breath and stop. Or two, it can mean that you have a much bigger influx of business during this period of time because of the client type that you are serving, who, by the way, otherwise would be in 100 different places, but because of the kids they are kind of stuck in one place and one space. So depending on what kind of business you have, you will find that school holidays will affect you in a different way. And this is where I say that you need to know your market. You need to know whether having school holidays will mean that you will be able to reach easier your customers, or will it mean that your customers will not want to talk to you during this period of time. uh, Also, you need to know where do you find them. Sometimes you can actually boom and boost your business just by thinking about Where do you find them? How do you spend your time the most productive way to actually reach out to your target market? Meaning, if you work with moms in business, start being creative and think about all those places where moms hang out during this time, like parks, play centers, and so on. So just think a little bit about where do you find your target market and how does that affect your business, because that's how it will affect the time that you will have to spend on your business, and how will you spend your time in and on your business. Also, knowing, having this clarity around your market and how does your market behave is actually affecting your rhythm too. It's a great thing to know exactly what's happening in school holidays, whether you have a peak and you have to prepare for it, or you have a low and you have to prepare for it. Because in both cases, you will have to do different things. If you have a peak, obviously you will run as a matruk and you will try to actually get everything done, and that means that you have to prepare. And if you are in that basket with a lot of with children at home, then that means that you will have to bring on your best negotiation skills. You have to look at support system. You have to think about how will you create time to actually do business. But on the other hand, if you don't have children at home, then again, it brings on a different set of problems. How will you engage with those people that otherwise you naturally can engage between that 9 to 3, 3:30 period of time? How will you find them if you don't have that free pass into the play center? Or how will you find the the right space to connect with your moms who struggle with children at home? How will you engage with them? So yes, school holidays does affect all of us, and it's really worth having a bit of clarity around your rhythm, your market, and how these interact. And knowing your rhythm, as I mentioned before, is literally enabling you to prepare for it and to have a viable plan for this situation. Now, having a plan is the second big thing. And I know you might think, especially if you are in that 100% bring it on, I struggle with children at home, having a plan is your crucial bit. And what I mean by this is that you have to stop and think. You have to stop and think about what can you do, what can't you do, what is possible, what's not possible, what's flexible, what's not flexible, what's negotiable and what's not non-negotiable. You really have to have a bit of clarity around what can you do in school holidays, and how much available time you have compared to any other day when things are back to normal. So having a plan means that you need to stop. You need to stop and think really hard on what can be done and what can't be done. But also, it means that you need to consider all the outside factors. You need to know what can be moved. How can you juggle your time? How can you play with the available time that you have? What are the tasks that must happen, and how can you sneak them in your weekly plan during school holidays? So having a plan is crucial. Now, if you're on the other end and you don't have children and you think business is as usual, well, here's the thing. Again, you have to stop and think. You have to stop and consider all the other factors that I was talking in that step one. You know, the one where you think about how will you find your clients, how will you engage with them. Does that mean that you have to make an extra mile to get to them during the school holidays, or will they just naturally come to you? And if they come naturally to you, then how will you deal with it? How much of that can you deal with? How much more can you do than what you do normally, and so on. So you see, it's really important to stop, breathe, and think. And having a plan doesn't mean that you are set in stone, doesn't mean that you are in a box. It doesn't mean that you have to do things just one way. It just means that you know what is non-negotiable and what must happen for your business in order to get out of the end at the end of the two weeks of school holidays on the plus side, and so that you don't feel like you're starting all over again. So have a plan. and be very flexible with it. It's okay to think, to interchange things. It's okay to treat it like a big puzzle. It's okay to move things around. But also having a plan will enable you to know when do you need help, what kind of help do you need, um, and so on. The answer lies in you, but I know that stopping and thinking about the next 2 weeks is quite crucial, and it's key to knowing what's happening and to actually being able to be on top of school holidays. Now, number three is I called it bring your best negotiation skills to the table. Now, here's the thing. I know this might not affect that much the people who don't have children at home, but if you do have children at home, this is the most important skill you will bring to the table during school holidays. Negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. Kids are not dumb, they are just little people. And the reality is that if you treat them as equal from this perspective, and you actually bring to the table your problems and listen to their problems and find a common ground that works for everyone, that is actually the key to a productive week. I'm thinking of things like, and look, this will not happen overnight. So please don't get me wrong. It took some time to train my children and to get them to the point where they knew that they have to understand that things need to be done. But you can say, Mom is going to work for 20 minutes or half an hour. This is what half an hour means. When the clock hits this, and you show them, they learn, by the way, how to read the clock and how to read time. That's another good skill. And just tell them, once we hit that, you can come and say, Mommy's time, and we will do this. And actually give them something that they like doing and they enjoy being with you for that time. And just include something that takes 10, 15 minutes and be totally present with them. Enjoy their company because time flies, and suddenly you will find yourself in my position where kids are already old. And they won't ask you anymore to do play-doh and play with the cars and go for a walk and all those things. Or you can even put bigger things. If mommy can get through her to-do list, which means if mommy can work for 2 hours in a row while you are watching a cartoon and you're playing a little bit on your own, when it's 12 o'clock, we are going to the park. Whatever floats your boat, whatever works for your child, negotiate. Every child has a key. There's a way to them. The key is that if you negotiated something and if you said that when the clock hits this, we will do this, you need to stick to your word. And you need to actually do that so that you can build that know, like, trust with your child. It's a funny thing. It's not just with our clients, it's with our children too. But if you will do it on a regular basis and you turn up at your appointment with your kids, then you will find that they will start treating your time and um, your business as an important thing. It will become as important to them as it is to you to get through things. And as they grow, they might even start helping you. They might even pinch in. They might use a binder or cut the covers and so on, in my case. So, what I mean by this is that don't be afraid to have those conversations with your children and make sure that if you got to an agreement, stick to that agreement. And yes, this means that you will have to bring your best negotiation skills to the table. But if you nail this skill, it gives you an amazing freedom, and it gives you so much satisfaction because you will spend amazing time, quality time with your children, because you will have all this already in your plan, which means that it's not going to be you're not going to have that sensation of I'm stealing time from my business. It's in your plan. It's part of what you do. It's part of who you are. It's part of how you deal with things. So Bringing those negotiation skills to the table is quite important, and it really works. Trust me, it really works. But the key is that you have to stick to your word and you have to be present for your little people in your household. Now, what else should I do to make it better? You might ask. How can I actually, what other skills can I actually bring to the table so that this works, ELD? And I'm thinking, here are three tips that you need to keep in mind and think about. Less is more. This is tip number one. I guess it's really important to realize more than ever that less is more. You you cannot have the same expectations from yourself when you have children at home, like when you have everyone at school and you have uninterrupted time, and it's just up to you how disrupted you are. So in this case, less is more. Make sure that you know exactly what you must do and what is negotiable. What can I would be happy if I can get this done. So why is this important? Because this is how you can bring that negotiation skill to the table and start working out which are the time blocks that you need and what do you need for it to happen. How much time you need from your children. How can you dice it up in smaller pieces so that it happens? So whether you like it or not, less will be more. But the thing is that you will find that you will be a lot more productive and you will be a lot more on your top of your ball game if you consider your limitations and you work with that. The second tip that I would say, be present, and I can't say this enough. Being present is a superpower. I mean, seriously, just like the lady behind me, it is a superpower. If you are present in everything you do with your children, you'll find that they don't need you for hours. They don't need you for days. They really need you present for 10, 15, 20 minutes. If you can be present for them, fully present for them in that period of time, you will find that after that, they will let go of you and they will do their own thing. They do have their own thing. They do have their own lives. So being present is a superpower. Then the more you will actually learn to be truly present for your kids, the more you will find that it serves you and it helps you to be more productive. Tip number three is don't be afraid to ask for help. Now, here's the thing. You might think, I don't have my mom around. I don't have a support system around me. I don't know how to do this. How can I ask for help? I'm sure you have at least another friend who has children, just like you. There's nothing wrong with taking turns. It's one of the best things I've learned once I landed here in Australia is that sometimes it's not the family that is your biggest support system, but especially when it comes to business, but your other business mom that you met at kindergarten, at childcare, at the park, wherever, or mom's group, and so on. Make sure that you work out a schedule. Hey, here's my kids, take care of them for a couple of hours so I can smash out some things and get things done. And then in return, I'll grab all the children, mine and yours, and you can do a couple of hours of uninterrupted work. Don't be afraid to find that person, that other person in your life who can help you with managing and who can actually create that space to be able to do business even in school holidays. So a play day is not necessarily a time for you to rock up and have coffee and cake. A play date can be let your children go on a play date and you be productive in that time and give that back to the person who is actually being nice and taking care of your children. Give them that, you know, breathing space, even if they don't have a business. Trust me, by the end of the first week, even if you don't have any kind of business, you are exhausted. You are literally exhausted, and you could do with half an hour, with an hour, with a massage, with a walk without your children. So it's just a fabulous way to just work with the people around you. And you know, there's that word, that saying, it takes a village to raise a child. It's true. How about we create that village and we do everything so that our children are raised in a healthy, beautiful manner, and we still survive in business, and we can put the bread on the table, and we can feel productive. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Now, what next, you might ask? Well, that's pretty much it. The three tips, and of course, the three steps, and of course, the three tips that I just mentioned are all about the school holidays. And just to recap quickly, one is knowing your rhythm and knowing your market. Then two, have a plan. Well, you can't hear it enough from me. Have a plan. And of course, the third one is bring your best negotiation skills to the table. Because if these three happen, you'll find that school holidays will be much easier to take on and tackle than any other time. Now, um, what else? And of course, what's next? Well, here are the news, because the masterclass always ends with a little bit of news on what's happening in N Planner's world. Well, the 2021-2022 financial year planner is being released. So if you need a financial year planner, jump online, order your planner, choose financial year planner, and of course, in the next week or so, these planners will be starting to roll out towards you. So don't forget that we are getting closer to the end of the financial year. And if you are a financial year planner user, then now is the time to get on and get your next one. Now, just a quick reminder, there's a Classic End Planner, Wellness Advocate End Planner, there's a My Life Planner, My Study Planner, and of course the Networkers Planner. So probably the My Study Planner is the one that I will only create if there's a real interest for anyone. But I guess that's more a calendar year planner that will stay as a calendar year planner. But anyway, if you have any children who just realize that they need a planner, give me a buzz and let's talk about it. Now, other news, keep an eye on our regular workshops. The Blueprint to Life Work Harmony comes back to life beginning with the third Monday of the month this month. It's been a slow start for the year, but if you have won a ticket, or if you just want to change the way that you think about planning, time management, and so on, then come along. Let me know and I can send you the link, and let's see what happens. And of course, don't forget the monthly master classes. And I would love to learn a little bit about how did you feel about this pre-recorded version of it, because I find that it maybe it is the easier way to go about it, but I definitely would love some feedback from you guys. And of course, don't forget, Clubhouse is on every Wednesday, 12 p.m. And it's 30 minutes. It's really a quick check-in. If you are around, jump on, say hi, and let me know if you struggle with anything. And of course, Friday evening, 8:30 p.m., it's a wickedly good room. There's always people, there's always different things that we talk about, beginning with teenagers and time management issues, or how to time block, or what are the best tools to use, and so on. So it's quite an amazing room to be part of. If you have a bit of time, jump on, be with us for a few minutes, and you can log off afterwards. But it's quite a nice way to connect, and it's another way to pick up on some good time management skills. Now, the last bit, what would you do with an extra 2 to 6 hours a week? And I can't say it enough. This is the brand new program that I'm launching on the 4th of May. It is a 10-week program, which is designed to help you regain those 2 to 6 hours a week. There's an introductory price on it, which is $9.97. If you need a little bit of payment plan or anything like that, just let me know. And if you are interested in it, and if you feel like, yeah, I'm ready for it, I really, really need to do something about gaining more time, using my planner better, and having a viable plan, then this is the right program. Really, it's all designed to help you work out your weekly rhythm, work out how can you create more time in your weekly plan, then how can you protect your plan, and of course, how to tackle that to-do list so that you become more productive. And that's pretty much it for this month. Kirsten and I would like to say thank you very much for being and listening to this recording. And let's get you an extra 10 hours a week. All our details are on the screen, and let's stay in touch. Thank you, and see you soon. Bye for now.